Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson is presented by Adena Springs, Ashford Stud, Bloodstock Research, Brandywine Farm, Breeders' Cup, Claiborne Farm, Crestwood Farm, Darby Dan Farm, Gainesway, GLC 5500, Keeneland, Juddmont Farm, Lanes Inn, Malone's, Margot Farm, OCD Pellets, Pin Oak Stud, Quillen Leather and Tack, Sally Horse Vans, Shadwell Farm, and Windstar Farm.
Hello everyone and welcome to Thoroughbred Week as we wrap up 2012 and ring in the new year with graded stakes action from Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park. We begin at Turfway Park with the Holiday Cheer Stakes. Ingenue, one of 3 fillies and mares in the field, the 2-to-1 favorite. Mike Battaglia picks up the call.
22-1 for the quarter, well bunched. Latent Rush, Just Sizzle, Alley's Reward. Yankee Union now gains ground from 4th. Lose Angel is 5th. Louisiana Man moves up. Here comes Silver Summation. Gung Ho is also starting a late run from the inside. They're into the stretch. Yankee Union, Just Sizzle on the outside. Louisiana Man, Gung Ho up from the inside. Here's Louisiana Man to put ahead in front. Louisiana Man wins it by a head.
Louisiana Man gets up to defeat the filly Yankee Union officially by a neck. Norberto Arroyo Jr. aboard the Keeneland Sales Graduate in 112-2. A maiden winner at Keeneland in October, Louisiana Man gets back on Polytrack after finishing second in an entry-level allowance at Churchill Downs. The 3-year-old gelding by El Corridor was bred in Kentucky by his owner, Stonehaven Steadings. Trained by Charles Lepresti, the conditioner of leading horse of the year candidate Wise Dan, Louisiana Man has earned $72,000. Norberto Arroyo with the Safe Ride of the Week, presented by Sally Horse Fans, the safest way to the winner's circle. To Laurel Park for sprinters in the Dave's Friend Stakes. This one's for Phil, the 3-2 favorite. Dave Rodman picks up the call.
So Il Villano, and this one's for Phil, disputing a sharp pace on this muddy strip into the far turn, 3.5 furlongs out. Immortal Eyes is 3rd and Perch for a run. Wolf Camp is ridden in 4th. Fiddler's a Fleet is in 5th, and it's My Charming Clyde 6th and last. Coming toward the quarter pole, top of the stretch. Il Villano disposing of this one's for Phil suddenly. Wolf Camp on the outside, Immortal Eyes. Fiddler's a Fleet is now inside, 5.5 from the front and driven. Very wide out is My Charming Clyde. Il Villano's got the lead. Immortal Eyes in between horses battling hard. Then Wolf Camp is next. This one's for Phil. Has dropped back steadily, second last position, but it's Il Villano. The gray splashing away to victory. Il Villano, free of any mud on his coat today. Il Villano by 3.5.
2-to-1 second choice Il Villano, the front running winner, officially by 3 lengths over Immortal Eyes. Kendrick Carmouche up in 111-1 over the muddy track. Il Villano records his first victory since he captured the Chick Lang Stakes on the Preakness undercard at Pimlico. The 3-year-old colt by Pollard's Vision was bred in Kentucky by Vossfield Bloodstock Group. A $60,000 yearling, Il Villano has earned nearly $510,000 for Chuck Russo. Susan Kroll trains the winner. To Santa Anita for the off-the-turf Daytona Stakes. Only 5 went postward with Capital Plan and Comma to the Top, 8-5 co-favorites. Trevor Denman has the call.
Into the turn they go, and Comma to the Top. Being pressured throughout here by Ain't No Other. Those two still clear by 4. Then it's Wilkinson. Clubhouse Ride down at the rail, and Capital Account now sent along has 8 to make up. They are coming to the quarter pole, and Comma to the Top going on the inside. Comma to the Top kicks on for home. Ain't No Others on the far side. Capital Account's going to come wide out with his run. Clubhouse Ride on the inside. They are homeward bound, and Comma to the Top's holding on. Comma to the Top, Ain't No Other. Clubhouse Ride putting in a run on the inside. Comma to the Top now digging deep and finding more. Comma to the Top still in front as they come down to the wire. Comma to the Top going to go all the way. Comma to the Top's taken the Daytona.
Comma to the Top takes the field gate to wire to defeat Longshot Clubhouse Ride by a length and 3/4. The 3rd winner on the card for Edwin Maldonado. The 2-time OBS Sales Graduate clocked in 114-2. Winner of the Grade 1 Cash Call Futurity at 2, Comma to the Top was a 3-time stakes winner during 2012. The 4-year-old gelding by Bowana Charlie was bred in Florida by Richard and Linda Thompson. a $5,000 OBS October weanling, and a $22,000 OBS April 2-year-old. The Peter Miller trainee is racing's latest millionaire. Common to the Top is owned by the partnership of Gary Barber, Roger Birnbaum, and Kevin Sujihara. Watch Thoroughbred Week replays online at tbredweek.com. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with the Grade 3 Robert J. Frankel Stakes coming up in this segment. We begin at Gulfstream Park with the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector Stakes. Action Andy, the 7-5 favorite. Larry Comas has the call.
They're racing in the Mr. Prospector, and Action Andy broke very alertly. Action Andy right to the front, Dreaming of Nino sent along from the inside, and right between those two, it's Off the Jack. And Indiano is running in 4th position early, just outside the leaders, a length and a half behind. The trailer is Bulldozer, and he's got 5 lengths to make up at the half-mile pole. Dreaming of Nino in front from Off the Jack, and Action Andy is just to the outside of them. They ran the first quarter in 22 seconds flat. Indiano is in 4th right now. He's 2.5 lengths off the lead, and Bulldozer continues to trail around the far turn. And now Off the Jack pokes ahead in front. Action Andy comes right after him. Dreaming of Nino is dropped back to 3rd. Indiano's coming 4 wide, and then it's Bulldozer, a 45 flat half mile, and they're into the stretch, and it's Off the Jack cutting the corner. Action Andy, Indiano to the outside, Bulldozer 4th trying to close in, less than a furlong to run. Indiano's taking the lead on the outside, and then it's Off the Jack and Action Andy. It's Indiano in the Mr. Prospector.
8-5 second choice Indiano gets up to defeat Long Shot Off the Jack by 3/4 of a length. Luis Saez aboard the Keeneland Cells Graduate in 1:10-1. Second in this race a year ago, Indiano returned from a 4-month layoff to finish second to race favorite Action Andy in the Pelican Stakes at Tampa Bay. An undefeated champion in Panama, Indiano has won or placed in 10 stakes in the U.S. for trainer Marty Wolfson. The 4-year-old colt by Indian Charlie was bred in Kentucky by Diamond A Racing Corporation and was a $25,000 Keeneland September yearling. Indiano has earned $487,000 for stud El Aguila. Entering stud at Crestwood Farm is Get Stormy, winner of 7 graded stakes, including 3 Grade 1 events, all in wire-to-wire fashion. Get Stormy stands for $5,000 live foal, stands and nurses. To Laurel Park for the Broad Brush Stakes, Called to Serve, bet down to 50 cents on the dollar. Once again, here's Dave Rodman.
It's a reasonable pace out there for 8 to Fast to Catch. 24-3-48 and 3/5 was a half mile. 8 to Fast to Catch from Pretension. Call to Serve's now been taken in the clear from 3rd position. Thunder Lord is coming around. Avenida Paseo has moved into 4th. Then Hughes next and Tonto Fontenot. 8 to Fast to Catch trying to take them all the way. 1:13-1 for the 6 furlongs. Call to Serve is targeting 8 to Fast to Catch. The Laurel loving 8 to Fast to Catch with a 1/4 of a mile to go with a length and a half lead, and Call to Serve is set down on the outside. Whip out an 8 to Fast to Catch, and Call to Serve runs right there alongside under Joel Rosario and takes off for the final furlong. Here's Call to Serve finishing with a flourish and opening up. 8 to Fast to Catch solidly second, then Thunderlord is 3rd. Call to Serve in the Broad Brush Stakes. Call to Serve crushes.
Odds-on favorite Called to Serve by Gainesway Stallion of Fleet Alex draws up to defeat 8 Too Fast to Catch by 5 3/4 lengths. Joel Rosario aboard the Keeneland Cells Graduate in 1:50-3. Third in both the Grade 2 West Virginia Derby and the Oklahoma Derby for Peter Urton. Called to Serve has won 2 of 3 starts since being transferred to trainer Nick Canani. He was coming off a 4 3/4 length victory over Willie Beeman in the Grade 3 Discovery Handicap. The gelding was bred in Kentucky by Tracy Farmer and was a $290,000 Keeneland September yearling. Called to Serve has earned $365,000 for Mark Farrell. Called to Serve paid $3 to win and is the Malone's favorite of the week, presented by Malone's, Lexington's favorite steakhouse. To Santa Anita for turf fillies and mares in the Grade 3 Robert J. Frankel Stakes. 'Tis Flirtatious, the 7 to 5 favorite. Once again, here's Trevor Denman.
Still only 7 lengths covers the lot. They have a half mile left to travel. Out on the lead, Imperialistic Diva. Up alongside More Chocolate. Just in behind those comes Camellia Rose. Halo Dolly is right in there as well. Now it's Tiz Flirtatious. Has to go 4 wide, but Tiz Flirtatious comes to tackle the leaders. Hard to resist is in with a shot right behind that. Vivo Perlays on the far side, and then Caraba. They come into the top of the lane. Imperialistic Diva, but it's certainly a wall of horses coming to tackle now. On the outside, Halo Dolly in the white blankers. Down the center, Caraba, Tiz Flirtatious. They lining up. Tiz Flirtatious one from the outside. Caraba from dead last on the grandstand side. And it is Caraba. Caraba's gone right on by. And Caraba, perfectly handled by Julian Leperoux, takes the run at Frankel.
5-2 second choice. Caraba rallies from last to defeat the favorite Tiz Flirtatious by a length and a quarter. Julian Leperoux, the winning jockey, in 149-1. Winner of 3 handicaps in England earlier in the year, Caraba closes out 2012 with consecutive victories in Southern California for trainer Simon Callahan. The English-bred 5-year-old mare by Shemmerdal began her career racing for her breeder, Shadwell Estate. Current owners Alice Bamford and Michael Tabor purchased her at auction during her 3-year-old campaign. Caraba has earned $171,000. Lanes End will host an open house for breeders Saturday, January 5th through Wednesday, January 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily at the Lanes End Stallion Complex on Midway Road, just outside Versailles, Kentucky. All of the Lanes End Stallions will be available for inspection, and no appointment is necessary during these hours. Food and drinks will be served. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with New Year's Day stakes action from Gulfstream Park in this segment. Presented by Niagara Causeway, a graded stakes winning and track record-setting son of Sires Giants Causeway, standing at Margot Farm. 3-year-old turf fillies in the Ginger Brew Stakes. Corporate Culture, the 7-2 favorite. Larry Comas picks up the call.
Around the far turn, Discreet Mark on the inside, Mariel and Kathy, Kittens, Dumplings just to the outside of them. These 3 across the track as they come to the top of the stretch. Behind them, I'm Already Sexy. Io Ireland is next to the outside. They're into the stretch. Discreet Mark still on top. On the outside, Mariel and Kathy yet to get by. Tutti Paese coming with a rush down the center of the course. And Tutti Paese is sharp in her American debut.
European import Tutti Paese rallies to defeat Wave Theory by 2 lengths. Alan Garcia up in 142-1. Winner of 3 of her first 4 starts in Italy, the Irish-bred filly by Clodovo was shipped to Graham Motion's barn following her last place finish in the Group 2 May Hill Stakes in England. Tutti Paese has earned nearly $115,000 for Valor Ladies LLC. 3-year-old stakes action is presented by BC2A Paste. Reduce the likelihood of tying up with BC2A Paste. Next, the Spectacular Bid Stakes. Little Distorted and Merit Man, 6-5 co-favorites. Again, here's Larry Comas.
They're racing in the Spectacular Bid. And it's Merit Man on the inside who goes out to take the early lead. Merit Man gets a length in front early of Rocky's Home Run. Cat 5 Hurricane and Brave Dave are right there. On the far outside comes City of Weston, and Little Distorted is last in the early stages here. Little Distorted is 4 lengths off the lead. There's a big battle going on up front, and at the half-mile pole, 4 of them are across the track. A 22 flat opening quarter mile. It is Merit Man, Rocky's Home Run, Cat 5 Hurricane, Brave Dave to the outside. City of Weston is only a length and a half off the lead in saving ground. And Little Distorted continues to run well behind the field, now 6 lengths behind as they come to the top of the stretch. Rocky's Home Run hounding Merit Man as they turn for home. These 2 head and head through a 44 4 half mile. Rocky's Home Run on the outside. Merit Man keeps on battling. To the outside of them, City of Weston running a big one. Little Distorted is trying to make up some ground. Now he switches to the outside. It is Merit Man digging in at the rail. City of Weston up alongside of him. It's these 2, and Merit Man will win the Spectacular Bid.
Merit Man holds off long shot City of Weston by 3/4 of a length. Joel Rosario riding the winner for the first time. The 2-time OBS Sales graduate clocked in 111-1. Our first out maiden winner at Del Mar and 5.5 length winner of the Tim Conway Stakes at Santa Anita, Merit Man missed by just a nose to Hightail in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint. The colt by With Distinction was bred in Florida by Hartley Lorenzo Thoroughbreds and Stephen Barberino. A $2,200 OBS October Wingling turned $75,000 OBS April 2-year-old. Merit Man has earned $292,000. Bob Hess Jr. trains the winner for Bruce Chandler, Robert McKee, and James Glavin. 3-year-old classic prospects in the 1-mile Gulfstream Park Derby. Star Contender, the 8-5 favorite, in his first start on dirt. Again, here's Larry Colmus.
They're racing in the Gulfstream Park Derby. Undrafted on the inside, out for the lead. It's My Lucky Day is showing speed, almost English to the outside, and Senor Quiscayano is right with them, and these four are in a line as they leave the chute. Star Contender will sit behind them in fifth, 4 lengths off the lead, and Joshua's Comprise is a good way last as they leave the chute and hook up with the backstretch. Undrafted and John Velasquez out there 1.5 lengths to almost English. It's My Lucky Day, and Senor Quiscayano, who's down on the inside. They ran the quarter in 23 seconds flat. Star Contender is still about 5 lengths off the lead and 12 lengths back to Joshua's Comprise, who's last with just over a half mile to go. Undrafted on top by 1.5 lengths as the field enters the far turn. Ran a half in 44 4/5 seconds. The pace is hot. It's My Lucky Day is second to the outside. Senor Quiscayano is right there in contention in third. It's 4 lengths more back to almost English. Star Contender is not going on. Star Contender is losing ground as they come toward the top of the stretch. Undrafted and It's My Lucky Day together as they turn for home. 3/4 in 109 flat. It's My Lucky Day on the outside to the front from Undrafted. Senor Quiscayano is third, and the others are far, far behind. It's My Lucky Day and Paco Lopez are pulling away with a 16th to go. And It's My Lucky Day. Very impressive in the Gulfstream Park Derby.
3-1 second choice, It's My Lucky Day, draws off to defeat Senor Quiscayano by a widening 6 3/4 lengths. Paco Lopez aboard in 1:34.1, a 1:11 brisk speed rating. A 2-time stakes winner at Calder, It's My Lucky Day was coming off a 4th place finish in the Dania Beat Stakes over the Gulfstream Turf Course. The colt by Lawyer Ron was bred in Kentucky by Brandywine Farm and Liberation Farm and was a $47,000 Keeneland September yearling. A $110,000 OBS March 2-year-old, It's My Lucky Day has earned $185,000 for Trilogy Stable and Lori Plesa, wife of the winning trainer Eddie Plesa Jr. Brandywine Farm, a full-service operation, is now accepting boarders, offering quality care at affordable rates. Log on to brandywinefarmllc.com for additional information. Shackelford, a 3-time Grade 1 winner and earner of over $3 million, is now available for inspection at Darby Dan Farm. Contact Ryan Norton to make an appointment. Time now for the feature race of the week presented by Keeneland, investing in racing's future since 1936. To Gulfstream Park for just turned 3-year-old fillies in the Grade 3 Old Hat Stakes. Kauai Katie, the 1-10 favorite. Here's the call by Larry Colmus.
They're racing in the Old Hat. Core came out the best. Kauai Katie is away running in second position, and then it's Power Lady in third, followed by She's All Scat and Cupid's Messenger. Core is the leader, and now John Velasquez will take the favorite. Kauai Katie just outside of Core and sits second, 1.5 lengths off the lead. Core moving right along up front. She's cleared by almost 2 and runs by the opening quarter mile in 22.1. Kauai Katie is clearly in second and begins to gain a bit of ground outside the front runner. It's 4 lengths more back to She's All Scat and Power Lady right together, and far behind is Cupid's Messenger. Around the far turn, Core is the leader. Kauai Katie right alongside. Now they're neck and neck as they come toward the top of the stretch. They went a half mile in 44 4, and they're into the stretch, and Kauai Katie has taken the lead to the outside of Core, who can't go with her. They've left the others behind as they come down to the 16th pole. It's Kauai Katie under a hand ride from John Velasquez as she pulls away to victory in the Old Hat.
Kauai Katie draws off the score by 8 lengths over Core. Power Lady third for a sweep by Keeneland Sales graduates. John Velasquez riding for the first time 6 furlongs in 109 3. Impressive winner of her first 3 starts, including the Grade 2 Adirondack and the Grade 2 Matron Stakes. The Todd Pletcher trainee suffered her only setback when stretching out to 2 turns for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. The filly by Malibu Moon was bred in Kentucky by Spendthrift Farm. A $490,000 2-year-old, Kauai Katie has earned $468,000 for Stone Street Stables, LLC. The filly was consigned by Warrendale Sales to the 2011 Keeneland September yearling sale, where she was originally purchased by Grady Enterprises for $90,000. Multiple graded stakes winner Kauai Katie, the Keeneland Sales graduate of the week. We'll have 3-year-olds in the Grade 2 Jerome Stakes from Aqueduct and the Grade 3 Sham Stakes from Santa Anita next week here on Thoroughbred Week.
Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson has been presented by Adena Springs, Ashford Stud, Bloodstock Research, Brandywine Farm, Breeders' Cup, Claiborne Farm, Crestwood Farm, Darby Dan Farm, Gainesway, GLC 5500, Keeneland, Juddmonte Farm, Lanes Inn, Malone's, Margot Farm, OCD Pellets, Pin Oak Stud, Quillen Leather and Tack, Sally Horse Vans, Shadwell Farm, and Windstar Farm. Online at tbredweek.com.